So welcome to day 4 of our event, Stand Up and Say No. We are standing up to say no. So let's just take a moment to breathe and let your breath move your attention right here to your body, where you are on the planet. And affirm again that I am a presence of. What is that quality, that light, that resonance? I am a presence of. And that which we are a presence of is magnified a millionfold. So it is expanding beyond our number here. We are here in the ground of sacred sovereignty, claiming our presence as souls from the stars, from the divine heavens, in physical and female body vehicles, with all of the qualities, the strengths of that divine family with us, moving in and through us and filling us, restored to our mission of build, create, and then discern, so that anything that is crippling, constricting, contrary to the good of all life, we say that, we name it, and have it moved into protocol of extinction. That's our calling in this day. So we are here together, both physically, some by intention, some will be with us virtually. And each of us individually, all family members, our homes, our land, cocooned within the six-fold field that have been created and held for safety, security, guidance, clear channels to the divine, our way constantly cleared, with all of the team's myriad beings beyond Earth who are aligned with us in extinguishing outsiders of any kind, energies of any kind, in order for the energy of our home, that which is all good, all aspects of good, to be spun and manifested here on Gaia. So we gathered with that intention. We breathe awake the mycelium of wise women, grandmothers, visions, dreams, experiences, skills. All that is held within Gaia. We breathe that energy into this circle and the energy from our wisdom back into the mycelium. We are grateful for the elements and life forces of Gaia, of Mother Earth, in their restored states, being present to work with us here. So with those words decreed, let the breath move the words through all your bodies, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Let it awaken the songs, the feelings, the dreams, the possibilities. And sense the feelings, the colors. You are here in this circle, and we are standing together in our mission. And so it is. Now let's place ourselves in the circle again. Where are you on the planet? Your name. What is the presence? What is the I am present, a presence of? What are you holding for today? So our circle is filled with our presence magnified a millionfold. We're activating the vibrational songs and harmonies of stability, solidarity, wisdom, authenticity, and building new with love. So with that, our circle is opened, ready, connected to beings beyond our earth and on our earth too, who know the steps, have the skills, have the commitment to be here in this endeavor with us today. And so it is. So we have, through these days, set some very clear intentions and outcomes. And we have also claimed that space of what we're calling the black box of situations that are not acceptable or not allowed, because in some degree they're off of that wholeness that we are. They might be at 1% off, they might be 90% off, doesn't matter. And any indication that there's energy that is off gets put in the black box. The PTO is a group that has a sensitivity to discern frequencies at a very subtle level, something we wouldn't even be able to identify. And they come from outside of our galactic families to help us discern the frequencies, and they had the authority when we didn't, to freeze frame them, neutralize them, and have them removed. So we put anything that we are situations that we're seeing in the world, we've been putting it in the black box to freeze frame the energies, so that then we can work in each of our ways with those off beings to place them into protocols in which the energies of outsiderness, of agendas of domination, can be identified, neutralized, unplugged, moved into their own field, and be moved into extinction. So it's like being able to know that sometimes we have a virus, and the virus isn't us. Left on its own, it will spread throughout our body, but it's not an expression of our health. So being able to identify what's not an expression of our health, of our wellness, move those energies, attachments, devices, tentacles, whatever form they've taken, and neutralize them, unplug them, and move into a process of extinction. That's the black box. Freeze frame while we move it off. I heard in an interview or conversation this morning, and I got to research this, that in the Dakota Nation, that if somebody gets sick, everybody thanks them, because they are showing the tribe that there is elements of disease in the tribe. So thank you for letting it show itself in you. And we as the tribe are going to eliminate it throughout the whole tribe, because it's not just you that are at risk, the tribe's at risk. And that's how it works on a galactic landscape too. So whatever we see, no matter how tiny it might be, activating Deep Six puts the energies into the black box. So we've done that, and then we've reconnected with our original sisters 600,000 years ago, who came in souls from the stars into a female bodysuit, not to birth children, but to create the environment, to create the culture, to set the policies, to put things in place for there to be a thriving community built on love and stability and wisdom and authenticity and solidarity, so that they can move into the next phase of mission as souls in female bodies, which is to, oh, now I feel the energy that is opposite to good. I now feel the constriction. I now feel the prickles of the back of my neck, so that they would, okay, move that out, move that out, move out. So we reconnected with them, let them see what's going on in our world. Here's our laptops, ladies. This is where we are now because things went awry and we need your help. And we brought them back yesterday into our present day to let them be part of the Sophia Collective and our Circle Collective, to look out into the world, in everything that's going on in the world, to identify, neutralize, and unplug all the parasitic ownership of male bodies and male souls. Because male bodies have been used by outsiders from the beginning, as we know. So it appears that white men are the problem. No, that's the puppeteer behind the white man. And those that we did that yesterday. We went after that network and said, remove the network, remove the ownership. Free our soul members who are in male bodysuits, not just in this lifetime, for sure in this lifetime, but in all time. So here we are today. And what we're going to do is continue working. And we're working with laws. And laws are solid. And the law we're going to work with today is the law of manifestation. If there is a manifestation in our world, such as we see in the wars, the violence, bombings, it didn't start today. It didn't even start 20 years ago. But it started with an idea, because that's how we are set up on the planet. Ideas are made manifest. And if your ideas are coming from bringing good and beauty and creativity into the world, those ideas will bring good and beauty and creativity into the world. And so when we see things in the world totally contrary to that, we know there are stories still in place somewhere that needs to be unplugged and removed. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to ask each of you just to take a moment and identify one situation that troubles you in the world today. One, if you want to, go for two. A situation that is troubling to you, and write it down. And if you were to step back, and it were a movie, you're going to step back and look at what's the storyline there. What's the storyline there? So, for example, if I were to say, as an example, children being killed by guns in school. That's a situation. Okay, that's a story. It's repeating, it's repeating, it's repeating, and getting bigger. But if I stop it, black box it, freeze frame it, and I step back and I say, what is the story? What gives that energy permission to become children being killed in school. And there might be a couple. For example, one might be children can be sacrificed. Or it could be children are used to terrorize. Do you understand what I'm asking you to do? What's the situation? What's the underlying story? I'm just going to give you a minute or two. You know, and it could be in your life. It does not have to be in the world. It can be just what is bothering, what's up for you. And then when, I mean, it's happening today or yesterday or recently, but where in time, back in time, is there something similar? And you may not see something similar, but if you see something similar back in time, what was the similar story and what did it look like? And I'm just going to open up the space. So if, you know, it's often very valuable for us to hear each other. So at this point, if you want to, and again, you can always pass, and we're not going to do tag, we're just going to popcorn style. What is the situation? What's the storyline? And when in the past do you remember or had heard of it acting out? I'm going to tell you a story just shortly about Tesla. Tesla was a genius. And young, he had visions, and his commitment, his presence, if you will, was to use his gifts for the benefit of all, for the masses, to use his gifts for the masses. That was his presence. So while Nazi Germany was gathering up those and trying to entreat those and bring those who were visionaries into the vision of Germany owning the world, not just Germany, but Nazis owning the world. Tesla went to the United States, and his presence was still, how can I bring benefit to the world from my visions? And one of the things he said is when he had an idea, he would take it into his imaginary laboratory, in his imaginary workshop, and he would work with it in his workshop, playing with it, tweaking it until it worked well. He refined it in his imagination. So he said, I knew that when it worked well in my imagination in that workshop, then I could bring it out, blueprint it, patent it, buy the materials, put it, because he said, I knew it would work because I had seen it do so. And that's what we're doing here. We're using our imagination. Now, I'll tell you this. As long as I hold a story about another person, that person, for example, is mean and aggressive, and I put a label on that person, a story on that person, it has nothing to do with truth, non-truth. I have the power to put a story on that person. That person can never, in my experience, be anything but that until I let go of the story. There can never be new possibilities until I let go of the story. So when we see something in the world, sense something in the world that is like, whoa, that's off, being able to say, put it in the black box, I'm turning it over to the PTO, let them sort out the energy of it and clean out what is not of the light. I've done my job. I have not created a story that becomes solid. So here we are. An idea, or many ideas, an idea was inserted into the life biofield of our star families before we were even in physical bodies. So we're energy beings, we're light beings, we're collective, we're working together, and we've had a lot of trauma. But the way that we were further controlled and manipulated was by broadcastings of lies, concepts that were to the advantage of the outsiders. And I'm going to use outsiders, that's a term for anything, any agenda that is contrary to our nature of all good, whether it's control, manipulation, violence, war, rape, outsider. That's outsider energy. It is not ours. So stories, ideas were inserted into our field by broadcasting. Does that sound like today? Once those ideas were in our field and we had not refined our discernment, they swept us away. The ideas themselves swept us away, and they followed us onto this planet. So here we are in your imagination. So in your imagination, you're here in this circle of women curious. We are curious. We are going to let our curiosity be our motivator. Not our anger, not our fear, not our rage, not our stories. That's in the black box. Our curiosity. What in the heck was a story? So in this place of curiosity, going around the bend, away from our village, upstream, just imagine yourself with your team. You have a journeying team. You're going to go upstream within this galactic flow that now has good boundaries until you are nudged over to the side, and it's like you're looking out of a window into a boardroom. And in that boardroom, there are the outsider collective members, maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 10, and they're having a discussion in their boardroom outside of our energy flow. And they're excited. They're rubbing their hands because, boy, oh boy, what next will we put into this energy flow that will benefit us? And just watch that. Well, one might be, well, look, let's get them hooked on money. Let's get them hooked on money. Take away their natural abilities of giving and taking and sharing and resourcing. Take that away. Let's get them hooked on money, and then we'll make money the reason for everything. Money is the goal. Big house, big car, big salary, and we'll make money and profit the goal, because we control the money, we can control them. We'll reward some, we'll take away from others, we'll keep them totally imbalanced. Let's remove their natural resource model, and we're going to put in this broadcasting. Look at this wonderful commonality. We'll call it money. Let's call it money. And we are going to give you money for everything you do. You see, they come up with an idea. It's outside, you're seeing it through the board window. That's one. And another one would be like, look, do you see how tender those women become when they have babies? Do you see what happens to those who were supposed to be strong and ferocious and have authority? And then you add to take away that ability, and we add a baby to the mix, and now they're really thrown off because they can't stand up for, like they intended. But that's okay for us, because what we will do, we will use those little ones in whatever way we want. And not only will we have the voyeuristic experience of whatever that is, look how disruptive it will be to females. Let's use little ones in any way we want. Another storyline they inserted. Here's another storyline. Look, guys, we already own the male bodysuit. And we've twisted the mind already to say to women, you need a man. You listen to what the man says, because we own the man. The man is going to speak our words. We've already got that in place. So why don't we take it a step further, and let's put in the idea that the soul in a male body can be the female. We don't even have to do that other thing. We just let's take that on. And look, another one. Because we've already got these guys spinning. They're so disconnected already. What is up and what is down. And we've already told them black is white and white is black. Why don't we use that spin to create a further spin in addictions? And they'll be on the treadmill, always trying to get something that makes them feel good. Because they already believe the lie we've told them, that they're not enough. So you see, if we go back in time, where was that boardroom that created your story that you're seeing in the world today? Money being used to control, disrupt the total concept of a female body being a female body as anything more than something that can be co-opted to. And these little ones, let's use them in any way we want to, throw them and then throw them away, because not only do we get the voyeuristic, we get the disruptions within the female heart. So when you think about that, holding on to a story in this lifetime is only going to keep the story going. They don't care if you know the story. Outsiders don't care if you see the story. The only thing they care about is those who can go upstream and stop the insertion of the story. That's all they care about. So that's why they're after women all the time. So in this moment of time, it's kind of dark here. In this moment of time, just let yourself go within. Connect with, I am a presence of. What is your candle? What is your light? I am a presence of. And my presence is magnified a millionfold. It is as if I am in a collective of 1 million. So we have 6 million here today. And we have the Sophia Collective, those sisters who have held the authority voice from the beginning, who now we have it. They are holding with us. We have the ancestral females holding with us. And we have myriads of teams off planet. So let's gather them up, get your entourage. We're going to go back, each of us in our own way, back in time, wherever it is we're shown, to that boardroom window. You are totally safe, cocooned, and in the galactic flow of the divine family. The outsiders you're watching are outside the flow. In the past, they've had full access. But right now, they're outside, not knowing they don't have full access, but they're making plans. And get a sense of their discussion. What is the idea they're going to agree on, that they agree on? Yeah, that's the idea. And they're going to be ready to broadcast it, literally broadcast it into our live stream. Watch, listen, sense. And as soon as you get a sensation of feeling the words, whatever, however it comes to you, of that concept, of that storyline, write it down. And in that moment, place the entire boardroom in black box. Get the story, place the boardroom members in the black box. Remember, the Sophia authority voice is not about power over. It is about authority now and acted on. So you might get a sense of those in the boardroom going, like, screaming at you, no, we're not going to. Don't listen. Staff in the ground, sword into the sky. Eliminate the story, move everything into the black box. Never insert it. In that past place, you, this circle, Sophia Collective, PTO, standing, you face the future, because you are in both the past and the future. You face the future with these mothers of our cultures and Sophia collectives and say, bring the entire energy flow from that past to this present moment into resonance of divine good. Entirely new stream, and in that stream of energy, we activate all the power of that heart center grace to restore and heal everything back to divine good. And it's as if there is this amazing stream of energy that was never corrupted, was never programmed, It is in full force coming to us today to spread around the world. And when you're ready, ask if there's anything more you need to know, anything that you need from your team. When you feel complete, bring yourself back to this current moment and this circle. So these stories are multiple. And just like in the Dakota Nation, when we see someone in our world acting in the story, it's like, thank you for showing us the stories there. Black box the energy. Whatever in the past, that board meeting, eliminate it totally. Eliminate the insertion totally. Once, I mean, if we don't eliminate the story insertion, we're always going to be fighting the story. And that's what's going on in the world today. My story is uglier than your story. My injustice is bigger than your injustice. My pain is bigger than your pain. Your neglect of me is bigger than your neglect as a child. You know, so we're fighting while we hold on to the story. And to be able to let that energy field understand that the reason the story is there is because an outsider put it there. And we have the right authority and the responsibility to say, that's where you came in the window. Not only can you not come in the window, not only do we push that idea back to you in the boardroom, we move you and the entire boardroom into the black box of extinction. You see? And then we start to have an entirely new energy flowing to us individually, collectively, that we can create with. Now, you can use that same type of protocol on your own, on something that's bothering you, that's yours, that is in your family or in your life situation. So I'm going to give you kind of a way to bring a completion in for this particular work. It was always intended that energy in the form of ideas, stories, concepts be made visible. That's the reason we have the law of manifestation. Not to get parking lots and not to get big cars and not to get better jobs. Does it work there? Sure it would, but that's not the reason. The reason was so that somebody in our world would show us that rape is still in our mass consciousness. And we can say to that woman or man, thank you for doing that. Black box the energy. You don't have to live in that story any longer. I'm going to remove it for you and for everybody else. And that's the power of working in energy. You don't have to work with each individual. When you work on one, you work on the network, because we are collectives. So here we are. Let's get a sense of breathing into the moment. And you can use whatever word encompasses the greater intelligence that we live within. Like, we live within this energy field that is absolutely unlimited. And in our innate home, it is all good, all expressions of good. So you might use the word universe, you might use the word home, some might use the word God or higher power. I like the word life. So I say life. And to me, life has an essence and an intelligence. And life, I have been living within a story. Or I could say, women have been living within a story. And I'm speaking for women across the board, time and space. Women have been living within a story that says they are powerless in the face of dominators. We've been living in a story that says females are powerless in the face of dominators. I don't care where the story came from. I am owning it. I am saying that's mine. I'm taking it on. That's mine. And because it is a story for an experience, I have the right to say, don't need that anymore. I am saying, life, no to that story. And I don't care where it came from. But I know life because and in the female psyche, we held that story. Life, you had to bring us those experiences. That's the law. So me holding that story, females holding that story, has kept you hobbled and us away from your magnificence. And I am giving up the story in behalf of all souls in female bodies, time, space, regions, everywhere, giving up the story. It was never truth. It was inserted, giving up the story. I can do that because I have the authority to do that. And I take a breath and I step back and I feel the richness of life, like almost like a giggle, laughing, going like, wow, finally, finally, I am so grateful. I am so grateful. I was so tired. And it pained me so. But I had to leave you the story. And we laughed together. And I say, life, I am now holding the new story. Souls in female bodies are held in stability, solidarity, joy, wisdom, knowing their authentic star nature, and worked with you to bring forth the grandeur that you know is possible because you hold it. That's our story, life. That's our story. And I move my consciousness in the consciousness of all in female bodies, the consciousness of all to whom we are connected in love anywhere, anywhere, into that new story. Women, souls in female bodies stand in solidarity, stability, wisdom, authenticity to their true nature. We dance, we sing, and we create magnificence because life shows us where, how, and what. And everyone benefits. I ask the PTO to identify any glitches, any residue of outsider that bubbles to the surface and move them into the black box, deep six the energy. Clear that out. Anything from the old story, clear it out. And all of us have a design team, a causal team who has designed the software programs for this lifetime as we have stated stories. This is a story we're changing totally. So all causal teams are to design a software program for the highest expression of that declaration for everybody, every bodysuit, every soul on earth mission, an entirely new software program. Download those codes into our first dimension so Gaia, Mother Earth, knows we are standing with her differently, with solidarity and creating good and helping her in her restoration of good. And anchor the program itself into the fifth dimension, into that body, mind, emotional space of mind and emotion, fifth dimension, new programmings for everyone. Activate it and open up the stream of energy created and opened up today. And so it is. So as we get ready to close our circle for today, you can take from what we've done, put into your words, play around with it. What's your laboratory of imagination going to bring you? And then we'll see tomorrow because we're going to move forward. What is a takeaway you have from our meeting today? There are those of us who know how and have been working in ways to see that it is effective. To go back literally, to heal, neutralize, remove the pain and trauma of the past. People say you can't change the past. I know that's not true. That's a lie. And if we don't change the past, we will never have a different future. So there's those of us who absolutely are working in many, many, many ethnicities and families to not just stop the progression, but also to go back and heal. And we have been experiencing that. If we each do what we feel called to do in this moment, because it might be different next week, then you do what you feel to do. And I know you'll do it to the highest degree that anybody could, because that's who you are. I don't have to do that because you're doing it. So I don't have to stay with that, holding the love and the outcome of love, although we all do this, we all have that in our mind, but you're doing it. And so it frees me to do what I'm doing, etc., etc. I don't feel called to do marches or signs, but some are. And they're doing it well. And that's part of it too. When you want to change or heal, you use an integrated approach. What's physical, what's mental, what's emotional, what's spiritual, what's galactic. What's physical, what's mental, what's emotional, what's spiritual, what's galactic. And everybody doing their part well with the same outcome in mind. That's what we have. A commitment to an outcome, a world in which we are creating amazing, good, beautiful for all. Now, the steps that you're called to take, you take them, baby. That frees me to do my steps, you see? So that's what we're doing. And I can tell you in our sacred ground circles over the last, I would say, maybe 5 or 6 years, we have seen situations that psychics, astrologers, foreseers would say, this is going to be the outcome. And in our circle, we said, not in our world, not in our world. And we did the work, and it didn't happen. What was supposed to happen, quote unquote, didn't happen. That's what we're about. Amazing presence today. So take this with you. We absolutely turn this over to those teams who have even greater power and outreach into the unseen worlds so that they can be changed through all of those 64 dimensions and into Manika. This is our decree for today, and blessed be.